Menendez's co-defendant, Melgen, he had all these girlfriends. Many of them look like escorts. They sound like escorts. And yesterday, his Menendez's staffer testified that he worked with Menendez to bring in Melgen's girlfriends. And this, by the way,
give us the details.
Sure. I mean, in 2012, Matthew Boyle and I at the Daily Caller broke a story about a U.S. senator who was stiffing underage prostitutes, and it ultimately led to a huge investigation about all the favors that the senator was doing on behalf of his friends. This guy Salmon Melgen, who was running one of the largest Medicare frauds in American history. And they got, Melgen got convicted on all 67 counts of Medicare fraud. And now the U.S. government is prosecuting Senator Menendez for all the corrupt things he did on behalf of his friend who gave him all this money, who went partying with him, went and visited all these women with him down in the Dominican Republic. And it's been a really interesting trial because Menendez tried to lie to people and say that he was, he's basically against the Iran deal. He was a pro-Israel Democrat. So a lot of pro-Israel people got conned and gave him a bunch of money for his legal defense. But now the trial is going on. It's going to last for 6 weeks. And I was the one who broke the story, and it was kind of crazy how it all happens.
What about the reports I heard years ago of him being investigated, the allegations of underage?
So the underage stuff, the feds are not bringing the claims against that. I've talked to some of the FBI agents about it, and their attitude was, look, we've got more than enough to put this guy away on just straight up bribery and graft. But Menendez's co-defendant, Melgen, he had all these girlfriends. Many of them look like escorts. They sound like escorts. And yesterday, his Menendez's staffer testified that he worked with Menendez to bring in Melgen's girlfriends. And this, by the way, is a married guy, and he's bringing in all these women, basically bringing them in under tourist visas. So the real question is, we know that he's doing this already. Those are just the ones that the government's brought the case on. Were there others? We reported that there were in 2012. I was attacked by Newsweek. Newsweek called me used Menendez's smear and said that it was a Cuban intelligence plot. I was attacked for being anti-Israel. Of course, I'm not. And I was smeared for months and for years. And then in 2015, the FBI came out and said that all of the reporting that Matthew Boyle and I did was corroborated, was true. And so that's sort of a very fascinating place to be. And it continues to be kind of exciting.
Chuck Johnson, let me ask you this final question. We look at Debbie Wasserman Schultz now. We have Representative Frank saying what we reported a week ago is accurate, that they're seeking immunity for significant, disturbing testimony against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. What's the intel? I know you've got your ear to the ground on what she's been up to.
So what I've been told is that it's not going to look good for her. Basically, what they did was they really allowed foreign Pakistani, nationals to basically penetrate the entire basically IT system of the Democratic Party, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. I think one of the problems that the Democrats have in general is because they're so addicted to foreign labor and they're so addicted to trying to human smuggle people into the country that they don't think about some of the security risks that some of these things pose, like with the like with those brothers from Pakistan.
That's right. They think, oh, somebody from a foreign government, like we know the Russians were in there too, and the Chinese, or the Office of Personnel hack that was 20 million people. I mean, they're the ones doing this. Just everything's wide open while they point their fingers at us and say we're secret Russian agents when we're the opposite.
No, and honestly, I've never had any beef with Russia in my entire life. I wish them well. They have a lot of hot women and oil. But I'm not paid by Russia for anything.
Of course, it's the globalists that are selling the country out. Chuck Johnson, thank you so much.